Hi everyone, this is Tom with gaytalkradio.org, hoping you and yours are doing well. You're about to hear, I guess, what could best be described as an impromptu interview. Kind of just fell in my lap one day. So I'm speaking with the author of gayuganda.blogspot.com. From the name, you might be able to figure out that he's from Uganda. From that piece of information, you could probably figure out that it might not be the best internet connection, and we're going to be doing this over the internet. So the audio isn't perfect. That's where I was headed with all this. The audio is not perfect. Just want to let you know. Hope you enjoy it. All the best to you and yours. It's late for you this evening. We have gayuganda.blogspot.com. Are you the only author on Gay Uganda?
Yeah, I'm the only author.
You do it all by yourself.
Yes, I do it all by myself. Hold on to my. I'm not an organization as some people would like to think. No, and I don't have $20 million US to splash around on Gay Uganda. I just do it all by myself, nobody else.
Yeah, that was a funny one. We're all over here in the States saying, yeah, that's why he's using a free blog service, because he has so much money.
Oh yes. I mean, you see, the problem here is that they kind of believe that kind of talk. We who are gay know that it is false. I mean, they go around saying things which are really stupid and out there falsehoods, and everybody believes them. One of the tabloids today had an expose of rich city tycoons who are supposed to be using their money to spread the homosexual agenda in Uganda. And you look at it and you say, but this is stupid. This is not true. I mean, even if the people are there, you can't. Which Ugandan has the money to fund? Well, but that's the kind of thing that these guys are going around saying. The ministers, the pastors, that these guys are rich. We are so rich. We have the support of the Homosexual International in the United States and in Europe. And the president was saying that rich European homosexuals are recruiting in Uganda. Those are stupidities. Those are simply not true things, but they say them. And we can't say no. We can't say that is false. We can't say that is not true. We can't hit back at them. Oh, yeah, but that's life.
Because I'm guessing a lot of the stuff that you have to say never makes it to the mainstream media, I'm sure.
Yeah, it never ever makes it to the mainstream media. And for example, we have about 3 or 4 papers, the major papers. The New Vision is the government-owned paper, and it is completely silent about this whole debate. It's as if it is not happening. That is the government paper. And then there is the Monitor. The Monitor at first was silent, but then it got to the point when they started questioning the fact that they would not even be able to print about the debate. And when the debate was raging outside Uganda, then they started saying, oh, this is a big issue. So they started talking about it, and now they are having a kind of conversation going on. But the issue is they are not. It's still a one-sided conversation. They are bringing in kind of all these other things, but then they are printing falsehoods which are coming in from these other people, and they don't kind of fact check them. They don't. I mean, we are supposed to have millions of shillings recruiting kids in school to the homosexual agenda to make them homosexuals. Gosh, why don't they ask the doctors about that? I mean, the doctors are there. Why don't they ask these guys to give them the proof? But, well, that is Ugandan media. So right now, okay, as I was saying, that the Red Pepper tabloid has got this huge let me just write the article. It's quite crazy headlines. Let me just read it here. Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, it is not online. At least the red paper was not online for the apparent. Okay, they are having a problem. Anyway, the headline was, yeah, the headline was city tycoons who bankroll Ugandan homos revealed. Okay, city tycoons who bankroll Ugandan homos revealed. Now they go on to say things like these self-confessed homos document reveal that they are referred to as coordinators who pocket a staggering 1.5 million a month net salary. And then they have organizations like LGBT. Can you believe that?
Wow. So they actually identified a person?
Yeah. They went on to identify people. They went on to identify people. Let me read some of the people that they identified. They talk about, let me see, Pietro, who hangs out at Mamia Sarah in the renowned Petron at Tico's Bar. Paul, a high-profile senior doctor who works with a prominent medical facility. He normally hangs out Mateos on Parliamentary Avenue every Friday in company with his wife, Robert, a handsome Randy's guy. They go on that this Paul uses personal money to keep the vice going, facilitates several workshops organized for homos, and outs documentary material that advocate for gay activities in general. Some another lauded city corporate giant who works with one of the communication houses, and he's much into financing, and he one time single-handedly facilitated coordinators to a workshop in Nairobi. It's that kind of thing.
Yeah, and it seems to be countrywide. I read that 38 countries out of the 50, is it 50 countries that have some kind of laws, that make homosexuality illegal?
Yeah. That's the 38 countries out of the 51 countries in Africa have homosexuality as illegal.
Wow.
That is what Africa is about.
And it's like it's getting worse, huh? And it's not getting better, it's getting worse, much worse.
Yeah, it is getting worse. I mean, look at Uganda. I mean, homosexuality has been illegal for the whole of my life. But now we have this kill gay bill, which is really kill gay bill. I mean, they literally want to prison for life or kill gay people. And the whole country is like, oh yes, let's do this, it's overdue. And why are they doing this? It's because for the last year or so, they've been told how bad the homosexuals were and how recruitment was being done from America and from Europe and all this kind of nonsense. And there's nobody to tell them that this thing is actually not happening. Of course, there are these guys who came and told them that the recruiters are there, and they took it as a matter of fact that it is happening because these guys came from America, and they are just confirming that the recruiting is happening. So everybody in the country is like, for the last 6 months or so, the news, what has been said is that the recruiting has been happening. These homosexuals are bad, they're evil, and there's nobody is allowed to go out and say, no, this is not a fact. This is not true. You can't get onto the media. We can't get onto the radio stations. Even when we make statements which we want to publish with our own money, they cannot allow us to do that. I mean, that is
wow.
Like.
They won't even accept your money, huh?
No, they won't accept. They won't accept our homosexual dollars.
Wow.
Even when we have this $20 million US to share.
Yeah, look at all the money they're turning down. That's terrible. Well,
Oh,
it's not. It's definitely the problem down there. Is definitely not something to laugh at. But anyone who listens to me, we have to laugh at life. Sometimes to keep from crying, maybe.
yeah, yeah, we have to do that. I mean, I mean, we would cry all the time if we're just to dwell on it. You would just cry. But that's life, anyway.
Yeah. So we discussed a couple things in email. I one of them was one of the latest ones that I put in there was the effect of HIV here. Because I'm sure they're all saying that this will clean up the problem. And we'll just sweep them out the door. Kind of thing. Under the carpet,
Oh, yeah.
whatever.
Oh, yes. I mean, this Pastor Semper guy who's fallen out with Rick Warren.
Yes, yes.
Now he was on radio, on, is it Premier Radio, the UK, and he was spotted. I mean, I couldn't believe it. This guy is supposed to be an HIV activist. He was saying that South Africa has a very high HIV rate at the moment because they allowed gay marriage, and so Uganda does not want to allow the spread of homosexuality because literally because this bill is like a game. It is like an HIV prevention measure. And I was like, are you serious?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and of course, this is a guy that preaches abstinence only for the cure, huh?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's that kind of thing. Of course, he goes around changing his tune, but I've heard them say at least once. I mean, it was on that radio talk show and also in a debate about.
Okay, sorry we had that problem there. Evidently, sometimes it just disconnects like that.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Anyway, you were talking about Sempa.
Yeah, well, Senpai he's a crazy guy. I mean, it's my end. It is good that at least the world has got to know what exactly he is, and it is not from what I have been saying. It is from what he is saying. He's going out fighting homosexuality, wanting to wipe it out of Uganda, trying to want to lead Uganda and the rest of Africa and the world in fighting homosexuality, and he's very serious about these things, and it's quite good that at least he's out there saying these things.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's good. I mean, these people are. It's the religion influence. I think there's a religion thing. And I don't know. I'm sure you know more about it than me. But religion seems to be at the root of it. And it seems that religion is more. I don't know. It said from what I researched religion has been in your country for a couple hundred years, the Christianity influence thing, and but it seems to have grown since the first lady of the president has her own church and everything now.
Yeah, the first lady Janet Museveni is a born again Christian, and this push, the anti-homosexuality bill, is literally being written by the pastors. The pastors are led by Semper, Pastor Semper, former Rick Warren friend, and of course there is quite heavy influence from the Church of Uganda Anglican, who officially do not have and they do not have any an official point of view about the bill, but unofficially they are going out in the church and speaking, telling people to support the bill, and they are going ahead and saying that they should, that people should support, tell their members of parliament and the government to go ahead and make the bill law. The bill is basically being pushed by the religious authorities here. In fact, when Rick Warren had that message to the pastors, that is Semper and the other pastors, met in the Minister of Integrity's office to draft a reply to him, and then they went ahead and they're saying they are also writing some amendments. And I mean, these are religious figures; they are not members of Parliament, but they are saying that these are the amendments which are going to be in the bill. I mean, you see that the bill was literally written by these religious figures who are determined that it happens.
Wow.
And despite the pressure on the government, despite pressure outside. So it is basically that. It is the religion the religious people who are forcing it through, who want it done.
So I'm guessing that means, that Africa's constitution doesn't have a separation of church and state.
Oh, it does.
It does.
I mean, the religion, the constitution of Uganda specifically states that we shall not have a state religion, so to say. And when I state that that I don't have a religion, well, I'm kind of trying to also say that I'm a Ugandan despite not having a religion. It's just that everybody here seems to be so religious that it seems part of the psyche. They have to own up to a religion of some sort. Well, I must say, partly, the one of your biggest imports to us in Uganda, for example, has been lots of missionaries coming, and they've been evangelizing, and they've been going on right to the smallest village. And I mean, everybody, you can be surprised who knows Joyce Meyer in Uganda. You can be surprised how many of the 6 TV channels, about 3 are American Christian right television channels. I mean, it's that kind of thing. Everybody around me, I have about something like around the house, the place within something like 1 kilometer of where I live. There's something like 7 churches, and half of them are evangelical churches, the Pentecostal churches, and most of them have connections to the US, because that's where the pastors go to preach and get the money, and then they come in here and then they evangelize. So it's something which has been ongoing for years. It has been there for the last 10 years or so. In fact, almost 20 years. And it's a huge thing. And it seems like religion is part of everybody's life. But then when it comes to the point that the religion is trying to kill me, I would say, hey, come on. Even if I don't have religion, I'm still a human being. And that is something that I try to kind of carve out and say that I am a human being. I don't have religion. I don't believe in any religion. And if you decide to kill me because you believe I'm not human being enough, then I have to remind you that despite not having a religion, I'm still a human being.
Oh, hooray, applause. You are listening to Tom from gaytalkradio.org, speaking with the author of gayuganda.blogspot.com. Just amazing, because it brings back memories of so much that was done in the name of religion throughout history. The Spanish Inquisition, I mean, on and on and on. We've all heard it, but that religion can be doing something. So, I mean, genocide, Hitler, it brings all the terrible parts of human history up, with them wanting to do this. I mean, it seems to me, I hate to use the words, but it's they're trying to legislate genocide.
Yeah, they're trying to legislate genocide. That is a matter of fact. They are trying to legislate genocide. I mean, we ask them, they say they say anybody who's, I mean, there are all these, when the bill came out and the text was so openly hostile and genocidal, and condemnation started flowing in from around the world, they just went on and said that this is not, that the world is taking them in the wrong way, that they are not understanding the bill. But the bill is in English. And when I point out how many times I'm supposed to die, as me and my partner are supposed to get the death penalty just because we are gay and have gay sex, according to the bill, they don't talk about that. They just say, oh no, this is, you're taking them in the wrong way, you're not reading the bill right. But that is not a fact, that is false. I mean, it's then in Uganda they stand and say, oh, this is, you have to be, if, for example, the Archbishop of York talks against them, then he's promoting homosexuality. If Rick Warren condemns the bill, then he's also pro-homosexuality. I mean, it's like a cabal out there outside Uganda, and Uganda has to show the world the way forward. And the way forward is that you have to come up and show your faith in God by supporting this bill. And they're taking it that the best Christian is one who supports this bill. Which, of course, okay, I know my partner he's a Catholic. I mean, he's a Catholic, and it's like I support him in his religion, but this is not the kind of religion which I know. The kind of religion which I know would condemn a person who would want to kill me just because I am what I am. Even the Catholic religion, I know their theology okay, yeah, I have problems with it, but it does not mandate that I should be killed because I'm gay. But this bill says so. It wants me killed just because I'm gay. And I just can't square that with what I know of religion and what I know of his religion, that is my partner's religion.
Right. Yeah. And so, I mean, this is probably going to sound like a stupid statement and or question, but I guess, there's gay churches like the MCC, the Metropolitan. There isn't anything like that down there, I wouldn't imagine, huh?
No, we don't. Other ships wanted to establish a congregation here, but okay. And we have Bishop Senyonjo, who he was actually, I think he was defrocked, but some people still go to his church to pray, or they meet with him to pray. I mean, gay people are like all other human beings. Some as we are quite attached to our religion also, and they are also people of faith, and they go and pray. They go and even they do go to the Church of Uganda and they listen to these sermons. I am told one of the headlines in the newspaper was on the Christmas newspaper was that anti-gay sermons filled all the churches. They made the bulk of the Christmas service talks. So, well, but gay people were there, and they also want to go there. They are condemned, but they go there.
Wow.
It's not just very confusing. Yeah.
Well, of course, when you say gay people, it's just, I got the feeling of, kind of years ago in the United States, it used to be a term like the Friends of Dorothy, like everybody who knew everybody was gay, that was only other people that were gay because nobody else knew. It was kind of like a little private club, I don't imagine this when you say, you might have known they were gay, but I'm thinking that everybody that participated didn't know, that these people were necessarily gay.
Yeah, it is just like that. I mean, that is the kind of situation you're in. I know who is gay and I know who is not.
Yeah,
But
and
all
that's
the people,
in your society. There's a lot of closet cases, though. I bet.
oh, exactly. I mean, there are lots of closet cases. I mean, you have to be closeted. Even me, I shout on the blog, but from the blog, I'm closeted. That's why
Yeah,
I'm not
right.
away.
Have to change your tune real fast, huh? That's
Mm,
terrible.
yeah, yeah. But that is what life is like. That's why it has to be.
Right, right. It just seems so. I mean, I think you're traditionally, you know, I think of your people were more spiritual, kind of like, like the American Indians were, just, spiritual people, and for Christianity to just come in and they kind of corrupted that, I see, in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, it, it's more like that. I mean, I can't revise history. What has happened has already happened, and yes, there are lots of contradictions. There are lots of really stupid things which happen, and the fact that we are a society which is not very literate, and people believe things that are taught from the church, and I mean, that is the kind of society that it is. I mean, I can't be believed when I say that the books say this, that what Pastor Sempai is saying is actually not true. Because he's a man of God, then what he says is true, is by definition true. So that kind of attitude is very hard to beat. But that is what most of my people do, what most of my people believe. So
Uh-huh, yeah.
we're a poor country with very high poverty rates, very low literacy rates. A charismatic person like Sempa, very, very misguided, but because he's a church person, they believe what he says. They believe that he can heal. They believe that what he says about HIV prevention is correct. And of course, when he pronounces anything in the name of God, of course they believe it.
Oh, yeah, really, because I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know about the education problem. That's too bad.
Yeah, that's part of the problem.
Yeah, if you can't
That
read, if
that's
you
the problem.
can't read, it's kind of hard, to enlighten yourself.
Exactly. I mean, talk about the internet. The internet internet in Africa as a whole is supposed to be something like 4%. 4% of the population has internet, which makes me a very privileged person. I'm one of the 4% who have internet in Africa,
Wow, you must be a rich
I'm
person.
one. Well, that's why they will always assume that I've got 20 million US dollars hidden somewhere.
I tell you,
I
I
don't
think
have
you
that pocket.
I think you'd be on an island sipping drinks with little umbrellas in them, maybe if you had that much money.
Oh, yes. No, there's a lot what that I would really do with 20 million US dollars. My partner is just next to me, and we, we can dream of quite a lot of things to do with 20 million US dollars. not only not only promoting homosexuality.
That would be nice. Well, you'll have to send him a thank you, and hopes for the free advertising there. Maybe someone will really do it. you know?
Oh well.
I just hope they don't. What do you think about all this talk that they're saying they're gonna downgrade it and like take the death part of it out of there? Do you think there's any truth in any of that?
Well, the world has embarrassed them. That is a matter of fact. Uh, the day that this bill was tabled, as it was tabled, as terrible as it was, could have passed without any problem, without any changes.
Right.
But the world has embarrassed them. The fact that so many people have come out, many people, Christians in the West, are embarrassed that this bill has come out. They're embarrassed that these guys are doing it in the name of God. I mean, it's like you can shout all those things in illiterate Uganda, but it is a hard sell when you start shouting those things in Britain or in America. And that has embarrassed them a lot. So, okay, the churches have come out and they said, no, we cannot say yes to this terrible bill. But it's a matter of fact that death, life imprisonment, for example. Okay, death. For the gay man or woman in Uganda, there are only two things once you're caught, once you're prosecuted, according to that terrible bill: either life imprisonment or death. Now, the churches have been embarrassed by the fact that they want gay people to die. So they are proposing that instead of death, life imprisonment is the punishment. But already, for example, according to the penal code, once you are arrested, you will be the life imprisonment is part of is the punishment. I mean, it's I think 14 years to life imprisonment for having gay sex. Now, they want to make the bill stronger, so they have to make it stronger by either putting us in prison for life or killing us. Now they're embarrassed and they're thinking, oh well, okay. Their suggestion now is that okay, not life imprisonment, but 20 years, 20 years in jail, and it's like, oh, but you're making it weaker. And then they have been so embarrassed by the fact that they want to kill and to what, and they're Christians, so they're talking about reparative therapy now. I mean, these are the things which are coming out of their mouths. They're talking about reparative therapy, whatever, conversion therapy from being gay, and that they are going to give us the option. You're arrested, and then you're given the option either to have reparative therapy or jail. Of course, you will go in for that, but that is it's stupid. It's you're going to be forced to undergo this.
Yeah, they're just going to push you back in the closet a little further. That, I said that months ago.
Exactly.
Months ago, when Scott Lively was down there and Cohen was down there, when they were having their little meeting, their little forum with the government down there, and telling them all about, pray away the gay, and I knew back then. I said, there is a skunk in the works here. There's a wrench in the works. It's a bad deal brewing here, and one way or another, I knew that Exodus International, based in California, is going to be involved in either and receive compensation for instituting some type of reparative therapy in that region.
Yeah, I think that is what they want. I mean, Scott Lively. Sorry to what I don't know the guy. I just know it for him for things that he's done here, but it's like that is what he's pushing. I mean, from what I've read, that is what he's pushing. He's pushing for some kind of what he wants us to be given the option, either prison or reparative therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, I mean, it's stupid, but that is what they're talking about, and it is going to. Of course, I would rather not have people die, but it's also terrible because this is like, I don't know.
Well, it kind of turned.
It is terrible.
It turned reparative therapy and basically a lesson designed to teach you how to stay in the closet better.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going either way. It's going the wrong direction.
Friends were saying that let us kind of all-time ex-gay.
Yeah.
As soon as the law is passed, we should all turn ex-gay.
You are listening to Tom from gaytalkradio.org, speaking with the author of gayuganda.blogspot.com.
I don't want to do that. And my partner was just like, it's been fought to get here, and we can get past it.
Well, I'm hoping that international pressure makes a difference. I mean, even we haven't even mentioned the fact that, I mean, it even turns the way I thought about it the other day, because of the law, the way it actually will penalize somebody if they have any knowledge of a homosexual at all. I mean, if a landlord rents to a homosexual, if a brother or sister or mother or father know that one in their family is a homosexual, they can be imprisoned by not reporting their family member.
Exactly. And, I mean, it's so insidious. Huh? We say that it's a genocidal bill, but all the elements are there. Everybody, each and everybody is mandated to report the homosexual. And once a person is reported and is proven to be homosexual, there are only two alternatives, either the death penalty or life imprisonment. So I was laughing with my partner that, well, first of all, they will arrest us maybe for promoting homosexuality, and then that will give them the chance to prove that we too are homosexuals. And then once we are proven homosexuals, then we shall get life imprisonment. And then once we have sex in prison, then they will arrest us as serial offenders and give us the death penalty. I mean, it's funny, but that is all what the bill leads to. It's as the bill is at the moment, that is what it leads to. I mean, that is how it was written.
Yeah.
So it is a genocidal bill. It just gives, it makes sure that we are identified. Anybody who has an inkling of who we are is immediately identifies us. We go to prison, we die there, full stop. I mean, that's it.
Exactly.
There's no you don't get out, you don't have time off, you just go to prison and you die there.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And you and I know that, and it's kind of funny to hear the quote-unquote religious people and the politicians and everybody else try to make all the excuses and just they must think everybody in the world is ignorant, I mean, just like this, like they're the first ones to ever think of this, and when,
Yeah, that is why. Hello?
Yeah, I'm just, they seem to think they're just so smart,
Yeah, they think so. I mean, that is why it's so good that the text of the bill became public and it was so widespread, because it's now possible. It's now possible to just go ahead and say, this is it. This is what they say. This is what is going to happen. And when they say, no, this is not what you said. You just look at the bill and say, this is what the bill says. Okay. When they say that they want, there's no aggravated right, you tell them, this is what it says. This bill says that I and my partner, if we have sex, we shall go to prison for life. And once we get to prison for life, we are going to be and have sex, and we are caught, and we shall be risking the death penalty. That is what the bill says. And when they say that all homosexuals, I mean, when the bill says it wants to wipe out homosexuality from Uganda, that is the language of the bill. That is what it says. You don't have to tamper with it. You just have to quote it. That is the language of the bill. And it's funny. Most Ugandans, because, yes, of the low literacy rate, because of the pastors, the churches, everywhere, people are campaigning for the bill. And outside Uganda, people are reading the bill and saying, but this is genocidal. This is impossible. here in Uganda, they say, oh, these guys, they are very strong. The Homosexual International, they have lots of money. They are getting lots and lots of money. They have Hillary Clinton speaking for them. They have Obama speaking for them. And then they are so strong, they are going to force the government not to accept this bill. So they are turning it from an unchristian genocidal bill to a matter of nationalistic interest, that the government should stand on its feet and pass the bill just because Ugandans want it, and they shouldn't listen to reason. I mean, speaking from the point of view of a gay Ugandan, it's really terrible. But we have to laugh at it and say, well, at least we have friends outside who have managed to speak out about the bill. At least the world knows what is happening, and at least those people in Uganda, if it is passed, which is quite likely, if it is passed, then at least the world will put the country, Uganda, our country, at what will question them, and they will know what is happening. I mean, okay, I was very glad that Rwanda is planning to decriminalize homosexuality. I think it is because of the pressure which Uganda has been suffering, Uganda has been suffering, getting because of this world outrage, which is doing very well for us. I mean, it has forced people here to kind of get back and say, okay, let us think about dropping the death penalty. But then they're in disarray now. They have to think about something else. Now they're thinking about reparative therapy. And of course, I would like the world to also be, to also come out and say, no, reparative therapy is like being a witch doctor or something, because that is the kind of language that these guys understand. That it is not the World Health Organization. Okay, when you tell them the World Health Organization, they say, oh, all those international organizations which promote homosexuality, which is stupid, of course, but that is what they say. If the world comes, when the world comes out and says, no, you are doing something wrong, this is not part of the civilized world, this is not part of the world in 2010 or 2009, it is not. And I mean, they get ashamed, they back and they try to correct their ways, because ultimately Uganda is not, we are not an island. We are still part of the world community.
Oh yeah, big time part of the world community, and it's, I don't know, it's just, I can see the issue, you know, where you got so many people that just believe whoever tells them, and I can just see them wishing the whole rest of the world wasn't able to read also, you know. And, I mean, you know, well, the whole thing's ridiculous, and I'm hoping personally that it's kind of a smoke screen, that they threw this whole genocide thing out there, you know, basically to shock people, to shake people up. And the whole thing, it's kind of like a salesman when they're going to sell you a used car. They always give you a high price, and you got to Jew them down a little bit, you know. I probably shouldn't have used that word, but anyway, you got to get the lower price. So they're figuring if they can throw out the debt thing, then oh boy, when they say you know, reparative therapy, then that's going to be, everyone's going to have a sigh of relief and say whatever you want as long as it's not death.
Well, the good thing about the bill as it is out there, as it is public now, is the fact that it is also terrible. I mean, was it just last Friday? I was in a bar with my partner, and he was tired, and he was leaning against me and sleeping on my shoulder. And I just looked at him and whispered to him that, you know what, that is a homosexual touch, because that is what the bill says. I mean, the bill expands the definition of homosexuality. It is not just having is it anal sex, as they saw uh, they say it, but it is even a touch, any touch, even with something,
Oh
with
no,
some
you're
implement.
so right. I'm thinking in a climate like that, if that climate was to ever come to pass, in the lofty past, and it would take one person in that bar to pick up their cell phone and say, "Hey, I just saw two homosexuals here at the bar." Blah 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 blah. The police would come and get you, and
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly, exactly. That is what would happen. And I mean, why do they want this? I mean, because their aim is to wipe homosexuality out of Uganda. I mean, it's crazy, but these guys are crazy. You just have to think of them like that. They're crazy. What they want to do is very specific. They put it in the bill. They want to wipe homosexuality out of Uganda. It was a surprise to them that the rest of the world looked at it and said no. It was a surprise that the opposition was so strong outside Uganda that they have Christian leaders coming out and saying no, 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 this is not Christian. That has surprised them because they thought that it would just be okay. So that
Yeah.
has surprised them, and that is something that I have to add. I mean, this war, this battle is not being fought in Uganda. In Uganda, we can't fight. It's a matter of fact. In Uganda, we are just, we have no access to the media. We have no access to the TVs, to the airwaves at all. The only thing that I can do is to write my blog, but the blog is also something which is, how many people in Uganda are going to read it? Very, very few. It is read by many people outside Uganda. So
Right.
it's just that.
Yeah, it's well. Thank goodness the outside, international pressure is making a difference because I mean, I still think that they're kind of like they're turning a different face to it, but they're not changing anything. You know, they're just
Oh yeah,
they're
they
just
still
lying.
want it.
you know.
Yeah, they are lying. They're lying. They're lying. I mean, there's no need to be politically correct about it. They are lying. They've written the bill, and they see that it is terrible, and everybody is saying, okay, you say, okay, it is to protect the boy child, and then you say, but you want to kill a guy here because of this, you want to kill him because of that, you want to kill him because of that. And you say, well, I read that on the blog, and there are 7 instances where they would like to kill me. 6 of them are when I have sex with a person who is white. I mean, it's that kind of thing. They are lying, and when I say they are lying, yes, they are lying. You just have to tell them that. It's written in English. The bill is written in English. It doesn't have to be what you don't have to pass around with the language. They do understand the English. I mean, I know that Semper was in America for quite a long while. I know that his wife is an American. At least, okay, she was an American at least. I don't know, but matter of fact, they know the language. So I can't tell me that they've written a document which is supposed to be a law and they don't understand what is in it. So they're lying.
Yeah, because I'm quite aware that Semper speaks the language quite well. I mean, he was coming over to Rick Warren's Saddleback Church and teaching classes over there.
Yeah. They can't get away with saying that you haven't understood. But okay, it's a bit of like they know that Africans, the language is English is the second language or third language for most of us. Now, when they say, "Oh, you have not understood," you look at the bill and you say, "But there's nothing here that I haven't understood." But they know that you will think that they have not understood what they've written, but they have. They have. I mean, Bahati is an SCCA. He's a chartered accountant. So I have no reason to believe that he doesn't understand the English whatsoever. I have no reason to. When I see that you say that this is what they said and this is not what they said, I say, no, they are lying. That is a fact. They are lying.
Mm-hmm.
There is no reason for me to to pass the words. There's no reason for me to say they are not lying. There's no reason for me to be political. I just have to say it like it is. They are lying.
Yeah, and that's the best way, you know. That's kind of hard to misunderstand that statement.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's you know, it's like you said. You've said it all. I mean, I can't expand on it anymore. It's just amazing to me. I mean, we've touched a little bit on a lot of stuff that's going on down there, and it's terrible. And it's still just all up in the air. They don't have any definite date when they're going to just make any decision or anything yet?
Okay. Right now, the bill is in what is called in committees. The member of parliament. There are supposed to be 3 readings of the bill. The member of parliament, Bahati, who presented the bill, presented it for the first reading. Then it goes to different committees, and in these committees it is debated, and people give their opinions about it, and then these will be presented to the plenary at the second reading. So at the second reading, all these ideas will be voted on, and the bill will be changed, and then it will take some time. And now the second reading is supposed to be somewhere in January or February of 2010. So it is that kind of timeline. I know that SEMPA is planning a 1 million man march on Kampala. He wants 3 or 5 million Ugandans to descend upon the city to press the politicians to have the bill become law.
Oh wow!
Basically because he knows that the bill has support within the country, but outside the country, the government is getting lots of pressure, and we shall see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, you know, to say it has support in the country when, you know, most of the country's illiterate and they're just believing a misguided fellow human being, that's kind of sad.
Yeah, it is sad.
Yeah, because I mean, what you can't change that, you know, and that's that the people, you know, it's like I've stated before, education, you know, needs to be. Yeah, and that's in most cases, that's these type of people like this that want to have control. They prefer them to be uneducated, I believe.
Yeah, yeah, that's the kind of thing. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, you know, what is so sad is that the people who are advocating for the bill and who are telling everybody else about what the bill is supposed to be, they are quite well educated. I mean, Bahati, as I said, he's an MBA. And he's a chartered accountant. Sempa, I'm not very sure about his work, but I know he's a graduate of the university, and he's supposed to have an MPH. He signs himself as a PhD, though I'm not sure that it is a red degree, as what I think it was just given to him for his supposed work in abstinence in HIV. But I mean, these are supposed to be people who have read, who can reason. They are the people who are leading everybody else and saying, the bill is very Ugandan, and homosexuality is un-Ugandan, and these people from outside are pushing homosexuality in Uganda. I mean, it's quite ridiculous, but
Well, you know, what about this? We have a saying over here. Sometimes we say, "Follow the money." You know, and you have to wonder, you know, with people like Rick Warren going down there, he's a mega church pastor, you know, who has millions of dollars, and supposedly he claims he's done so much for HIV/AIDS, and you know, a lot of it's gone on down there, and and then the U.S. government also, funding, and I've heard rumors about funds being lost or misplaced, and possibly, some kind of political ties into that kind of stuff, and I'm wondering about the religious figures, the ones who are trying to hold themselves up as holy men. I'm thinking there's some money connections there too.
Well, once a Kenyan friend asked me, why is the homosexual debate so explosive in Uganda? I said I don't know, because it seems to be okay. Well, it's definitely being driven by the religious people here. I mean, from the Anglican Church, who of course have their enemies with their Episcopal brothers and sisters in America, and also the Pentecostals. The Pentecostals, they are itinerant preachers who just start up, and then they come to America. They get lots of money to come here, and they kind of preach, and they have all these pictures of people in Uganda who they look after, and then they go back to America and they get lots of money. So there is lots of money coming into Uganda for these preachers, but I cannot pinpoint and say, oh, this guy is doing this and this guy is doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, I mean.
What about the missionaries? You mentioned earlier lots of missionaries. Do you know who's sending the missionaries?
Who's sending the missionaries? Well, as far as we know, America is sending the missionaries.
America.
Who's sending them?
It's got to be churches. It's got to be different church organizations. I mean, Catholic missionaries. Are they Mormon missionaries? Are they Christian missionaries?
We have Mormons. We have Mormons. I think just near where I stay, there are quite a lot of. There is a Mormon church or whatever they call it, and we see them evangelizing around, and they apparently the last 2-3 years they've been making bumper the soul harvest, whatever they call it, in Uganda. Then, of course, we have huge rallies. Creflo Dollar is, he's an American, isn't he? Yeah, I think he is. We have huge rallies from Joyce Meyer. We have rallies from rallies by quite a lot of the preachers who I see on TV. I mean, we have Lighthouse Television here, and it is an American. It is an affiliated Trinity Broadcasting Network. Yeah, and all the preachers who are on it, they are the ones who usually come in here.
Also, CBN, the Christian Broadcasting Network, is big down there. You are listening to Tom from GayTalkRadio.org, speaking with the author of GayUganda.blogspot.com.
Yes. So,
now I got to ask you about the Mormons. Around here when we see the Mormons, we think about them, two guys dressed up in nice, like a white shirt and dark pants on bicycles, riding around together, going from door to door with their little Book of Mormon. Is that the way they do it down there?
Exactly.
No way.
Take away the bicycle. Put on, is it a black badge with elder so and so, and you have the people. Those are the ones.
I'm sorry, I can't. I find that humorous. But anyway, I guess they do that all over the world on their bicycles. Oh goodness! I'm sorry. We were getting so serious. I guess I had to break the mood a little bit.
Sure.
What else you got for us? I'm just gonna here you go. Just say what you want to say. I might have missed some stuff that you wanted to cover.
Oh well, I'd just like to say, right now, where we've got to, when I had that this bill was tabled, I was quite sure that it was just going to pass because, as one member of parliament said, there was 99% chance of it passing. But because the world out there has known what the bill is about, because the U.S. Matter of fact, the influence of the U.S. It is huge in religious terms, but it is also huge in military and aid terms, and that is why this government will have to listen to the government there. And what I say always when people ask me what they can do is just pressurize your political leaders, just pressurize the members of Congress, just put pressure on the senators, because these are the guys who will make a difference. These are the guys who will ask the Obama administration to make a difference in Uganda. I cannot do anything. The only thing that I can do is write a blog and shout and shout and shout, but that is absolutely nothing because it is literally just a pinprick. I cannot change public opinion in Uganda, but the U.S. government can help change the government here.
Cool. That's I looked at my notes again to see if I missed anything. And what about Akinola? I missed Akinola here. We didn't talk about him. How come he's been so quiet lately?
Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what is. I think he's no longer the head of the Nigerian church. I'm not very sure about that, but I think he might not. There might be another prelate who is Archbishop now. Who is the? I think he resigned. He was supposed to have. He was supposed to step back after some time. I think that happened. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about why he's so silent.
Yeah, it's just all of a sudden. He basically welcomed all these when the schism, the Anglican schism, the Episcopal schism over here, it's caused the split, when Gene Robinson got consecrated as a bishop, and Akinola was welcoming with open arms all of these churches from the United States to come under his wing of his church until they formed their own church and blah, 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 and now all of a sudden, he's kind of shh. We don't hear you don't hear nothing from him. I'm going, what happened?
Yeah, it's. I welcome his silence.
Yeah, I think maybe he fell out of favor with the Archbishop of Canterbury there, because I think he was kind of disappointed with him taking those United States churches under his wing.
Yeah, exactly. You see, it's kind of funny. I consider it that the American, the U.S., the Anglican communion has been bending over trying to accommodate these other guys, but they don't realize how homophobic these guys are. They don't realize how radical they are. I would really compare Osama bin Laden and Semper, because it's literally the same ideology: my way or no way.
Yeah.
My way or no way. Yeah? It's either my way or no way. And anybody who is against me is bad. He's evil. He's un-African. He's un-Ugandan. Have you heard him speak? You'll be surprised.
No, I have never heard him speak. I've never checked out any video on him or anything, but I know I knew something when Rick Warren, they asked him in a conversation or interview recently how he felt about Sempa, because they used to be buddies. There's a report I saw that I read that Rick Warren's wife actually, when Sempa was giving a speech that they were attending, she stood up and made in public remarks about how much she loved Martin Sempa, and now Rick Warren has said they no longer speak with him and they're not associated with him.
Well, if you really want to know how terrible Sempa is, Boxtato Bulletin, the blog,
mm-hmm.
they have some videos of him. They're quite terrible. I mean, it's the kind of stuff that you have I have to warn you that is almost X-rated.
No way,
So
really.
just be, yeah. I mean, he shouts the kind of things that he says and shouts and what. I mean, some of it you can't. I mean, anyway, you just check it out. I mean, you have a good video connection. You check it out because he said it on national television here, and somebody typed it very nicely, sent it on YouTube to Boxer Bulletin, and they have it there. And it's like, wow, you can say, wow, this is really terrible stuff. Homosexuals are evil. Believe you not. That is what it is.
Well, that happens in the pulpit quite often over here in the United States also, but at least they're not making laws, over here. And,
yeah, exactly. Oh, it's very good that we are not making laws.
Yeah, I agree with that. Hallelujah. But it's a struggle. They're trying to have more influence over here. Even religion, I think religion has become so desperate because if you look at it over the years, really worldwide, religion, the only faith I think that actually has increased in membership in worldwide numbers is the Muslim faith, and it's Christianity, Catholicism or Protestants or Episcopals or whatever, all Christianity, has been. I think the numbers have been falling because people are waking up at people who and with religion, what's happening down there is shining such a bright light that religion can't hide anymore behind the lies.
Yeah, and that is good. That is good. At least, well, I have to look at the silver lining in all this because at least we are having Semper exposed. At least we are having people know what is actually being exported rather than the ideas which are really coming to Africa. I mean, I like this guy who wrote about what was happening in Malawi and what has been happening in Uganda and Zambia. I mean, the Christian right is exporting a lot of ideas, but it is kind of under the radar. We don't realize that they're actually radicalizing people this end, and they are. That is a matter of fact, they are.
Yeah, well, it's a shame it has to come to a head, and to get the international attention, it's like this. Something like this should have been seen coming. I mean, months ago when Scott Lively was down there and his Exodus International was involved with talking to government officials about homosexuality in the country, coming from a therapy, quote unquote, I use that word very loosely, which has been basically defunct by the APA and the AMA and every other medical organization in the world. And to consider and give that any credibility was just it scared the hell out of me back then, and now I see why.
Yeah. I mean, that has been happening, and it has been happening a lot. It has been happening a lot. It has been happening repeatedly. And, well, at least now we know that it is happening. At least the world knows that it is happening. I mean, I watched this Richard Cohen, that guy, I watched him being taken out by Rachel Maddow, and I was like, ooh, I didn't know all this stuff. But everybody in America seems to be like, oh, we knew this, we know these guys, but this is the kind of stuff which was brought to Uganda. These were the donations that are given to Stephen Langa, and he has been distributing them around. And I watched him as he quoted from that book that homosexuals are likely to suffer to have their life span decreased by 30% and all those other percentages. And I was like, what? I didn't know this.
have been saying that. That's something that has been said for years and years and years and years from many old studies and stuff. And you know what the funny part about that is because we are an oppressed community. All oppressed communities have a higher incidence of suicide and medical issues and blah blah blah. You know, because we're an oppressed community. You deal with negativity all your life, and it has effects.
Yeah, it has effects. But also, the fact was that those quotations are from another disqualified pseudo scientist. Is it Paul Cameron or something like that? I mean,
Oh yeah, yeah.
it's disqualified. It's stupid. It is not true, and everybody knows that it is not true. But because Cohen sent all his books to Uganda, and they are being given out free of charge, how to is it recruit proof your child from homosexuality? I think that is lively or something like that. They're giving them out for free, and people are reading them and believing, oh, their eyes are open to the dangers of homosexuality. They don't take into account the fact that they are lying.
Right. You know, you brought up a good point a minute ago, and I got to ask you about this Rachel Maddow. You said you saw it. I'm guessing you saw it on YouTube or something. You know, I'm guessing that no broadcast TV stations down there would have, you know, the Rachel Maddow show on, or probably any cable stations. What about satellite TV? Can people even get that channel or that show down there?
No, it is what we have only one satellite TV. What it is from South Africa, but it doesn't have the Rachel Maddow show. What I did, I had to spend something like 3 hours just to download those clips, and I watched them. But who would have 3 hours to spend just downloading clips from YouTube? It would be just too impossible.
Wow. 3 hours it took you to download the YouTube clips?
Yeah, it is slow. Yeah, the internet is very slow.
Ah, okay. Well, that's why we're getting a little audio. Sometimes when you talk, sometimes the audio is a little, but it's pretty good mostly.
Well, it's pretty good at this hour. If it had been earlier in the afternoon, it would have been impossible.
Oh, wow. Oh, that kind of deal. Yeah. Okay. When people are getting ready to go to bed and stuff, you get a little bit of bandwidth, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
So if this law did pass, I got to get this from you. If this law did pass and you know, other countries offered asylum, I'm guessing that you would quickly exit your country. And you know, I mean, just a little bit about, you know, how would that make you feel, you know, having to leave your homeland and being forced out by crazy people?
I don't want to. This is my country. In as much as it is their country, this is also my country. And this is where my partner is, this is where my family is, this is where my clan is, my people are, and I just don't want to go out and be forced out. I mean, it would be like an admission of defeat on my part, but, well, life is more important, and it's better always to live and fight another day.
Yeah, right. So true. So true. All is better. And who knows, you know, even if it came to that, you know, things change sometimes, you know, and laws change too. So, you know, that doesn't mean you couldn't never go back either.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You know, sooner or later they're going to wake up and, you know, it just, you know, I hate to compare it, but it just seems to me like that part of the world is just a little bit behind, you know, as in, you know, it's a poor country. They haven't had the opportunities, you know. It's terrible that people would be, in this day and age, that massive numbers of people would be illiterate. That's just unacceptable anywhere in the world.
Well, that is what it is like here.
Yeah, because this is the kind of stuff that comes from that. You know, this is a good example of what happens.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. People have to depend on their leaders, and the leaders, if they're unread, if they're unlettered, then this is the kind of thing that comes up. I mean,
It is.
it's
Education has
not
always been,
that's
it's a good thing. It's, for years and years and years, I think many, of the leaders of the world knew that quite clearly, and they allowed, their citizenry to remain ignorant, and then after time, it can't stay that way forever. We all started to get a little bit of intelligence, and education became important, and that needs to be
yeah.
that. It's so, yeah, you can't, we all know, especially in this day and time, and here if you can't put your trust in somebody else.
Yeah, sure, sure. I mean, if somebody else, they can lie to you. If you can't verify what you are being told, then what is going to happen? I mean,
Yeah, I'm guessing our connection is deteriorating for some reason.
uh,
Thank you for being with us.
okay. Thank you so for having me.
Oh, you would be welcome anytime. Anytime you got something to say, you want me to put it on the air, I'd be more than happy to.
Okay, thanks.
Okay?
Thanks for the invitation.
Sure, just contact me on Skype anytime you got something you want to say out to everybody, and I'll record it and we'll put it out there.
Okay then, thank you.
Thank you. We thank you very much, and you have a wonderful evening, and all the best to you and your partner.
Okay, thanks. You too.
Thanks. Bye-bye for now.
Okay, bye.
All right, I guess you noticed there towards the end of the whole thing, our connection seemed to degrade. I lost connection a couple times, and then the audio was kind of choppy and whatnot. So, for whatever reason, the connection degraded to the point where we couldn't continue. Hopefully, we'll hear from him again in the future. Again, this was provided to you by gaytalkradio.org. My name is Tom, and we just finished speaking with the author of gayuganda.blogspot.com. All the best to you and yours.